Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Kirby Fair Show, joined by Sam Auld. Sam, say hello.
What's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
How's Tilly doing?
Tilly's thriving. I showed Kirby, but I got a new blanket from work, and she was crashing into it during the middle of the night, and now she is sleeping peacefully on it.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're a video format, show us Tilly.
got I got the Tilly hat on right there, and
Dope hat.
now Tilly down there just kind of grooming on the blanket.
Let's go, Tilly.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm glad you brought up the hat, because I am actually a little disappointed. Sam gave up the hair. He gave up
Yeah.
the blonde hair. He is
It's buzzed.
down to basic camp or what basic training camp. He has shaved it. Sam's about to have to go run 5 miles and swim 10. Sam, tell us about it, my man.
Yeah, let's just see. I'm in my Britney Spears era, I guess.
Damn.
A few weeks ago, bleached it,
I
and
told you to. I asked you. I was like, are you okay? Do I need to step in as the friend and make sure you're not doing a Britney Spears?
well, I don't think I was doing a Britney Spears, but I think after 2 weeks of I think that was the longest my hair had ever been, and then on top of that, the texture of it after it being bleached was just kind of getting on my nerves, and
Yeah.
then it's summer, it's hot. I
You got
want to
to.
get a Tilly hat, so shave it
you gotta
all
let it
off,
go.
and
You gotta let it go.
I did this. I shaved my head last spring. Also, I did that at home, and I did it this time professionally, and it's a lot better. So,
Oh yeah.
if anything, last spring was the Britney Spears moment.
What is it? What'd you get? Like a 2? A 3?
I got a 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I used to be a barber in my day. Shout out John Harris. Gave him a sweet haircut in
Nice.
junior year of high school.
Oh my gosh.
And also cut my dad's hair for a while there, but he's probably about 50% bald. So, there is no real shaping or anything. It's just making sure I get those ears correct and maybe clipping the eyebrows from time to time. I think it's gross. I'm not going to touch the nose hairs. That's on him. But yeah, it's probably time for me to get a haircut. Oh, I actually did also say I could cut hair to a young girl of the age of 17 who was in my home for reasons of proper reasons. And she was like, you know what? I really just want to trim. And I was like, I cut hair.
Did you?
Oh my God. Caroline was like, are you sure? She was giving me the are you sure eyes. Because I didn't, she knew I didn't want her to vocalize that she knew I couldn't do it. But man, we got 75% through, and I was like,
No.
I gave her the I'm not sure eyes.
Oh, no.
It was so bad. I was so scared. She was like, I just want it even. And then I could not figure out how to do it even. And it was gnarly. I feel really bad. I got it yeah.
Was this a recent occurrence?
It was a week and a half ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. I've kept up the barbershop quartet over here, the singlet, I suppose. All for free. So, look.
I mean,
you know what you're getting. I'm doing you a favor. See it as that. I'm doing you a favor. If anything, you can cut her all off.
Exactly. Start over.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's been the theme of your life.
Yeah.
My life. What have I been doing? Oh, it was my birthday!
Yeah.
I went to... It's actually a great segue for everything today. We're talking about obviously the WNBA because things are exploding in multiple ways, the good and the bad. And so I went to New York to see Lizzie Doney. Liz let us stay one night, and then I don't know how much I want to rat out Liz on the pod right now, but let's say We had to stay somewhere else night 2. And Liz had her own problems. So thanks, Liz. Then we ran around. I ran around and got ice cream and had a very beautiful New York moment, where, it's always rare when you can get a crowd of New Yorkers to stop in the same place for multiple minutes. And I was joined the day before my birthday, 24 and 364 days. Honestly, probably 365 because of the leap year. So, anyways, and actually, I watched life come to an end that day. We all watched a hawk from beginning to end murder this bird. And it was fascinating. No one could take their eyes off. Some woman out of nowhere, we're outside the Met, comes up with a broom in the middle of New York. Just shows up with a broom. I'm like, where did you get that? We're not near any houses. Why do you? But it's like 20 feet up. What are you gonna do with the broom? What are you about to do with the broom? But yeah,
scared off.
So obviously, end of the story. TLDR, the hawk murdered it. So we really got to see some Planet Animal. And then we all watched as it plucked one feather off of the bird at a time, and it fell onto our feet. So that was great. Then had a little allergic reaction. That put a damper on the whole thing. But my eyes were able to unswell by the time I went to the WNBA game the next day. And got to see the Liberty and, of course, Caitlin Clark. And great tickets. Well worth the money. I love not having children. Just all the is it dispensable or indispensable? Disposable income.
Yeah.
That I could possibly have. Because I got 3 $16 beers, I got a brat, I got a hot dog, I got popcorn, I got heard that a Diet Pepsi with Jack was good. Didn't drink it. It was horrible. It was really bad. But I had a great time, and Caitlin Clark did not. Of course, I think this was the third time the Liberty played the Fever, if not the second, and both times they have wiped them out just completely because, as we've seen, the Fever suck. What are they?
Yeah.
2-10 now? 2-9?
There's a reason why they've had back-to-back first picks.
It's bad. Caitlin Clark
2-9.
Couldn't shoot the 3. Actually, the first time she hit it, I was getting my first hot dog. So, and the crowd is just just sitting there buzzing, waiting for her to hit a 3, right? And so you just hear this huge roar. And even if you're we're in the Liberty Stadium.
I guess, yeah, Caitlin Clark does something and there's like a louder reaction than the Liberty fans.
No, for real.
Wow. Okay.
But we haven't been able to get that a ton. So, when I missed it, I was like, shit, that was probably the one of 2 I'm going to see today. Which was true. I think she hit maybe 2 more. But yeah, her body language is crazy all off. Because she's clearly just having it. She's batting like .05 right now kind of vibe, She's in a slump. But she's not. That's the thing. She's leading. She was Rookie of the Month. She's leading her team in points per game and assists. This is what I don't think people, and you can just give you league pass. So hopefully you've been watching the W and can comment on this a little bit. But the thing that people aren't seeing is Caitlin Clark is throwing dimes. As Ryan Moroku said last year in the Aces Liberty finals game, I think it was game 2, he said the Las Vegas Aces are dishing deities. Caitlin Clark is a dishing deity. If not, she's a dishing diva. I will say it leads to a lot of her turnovers. because she's really trying to force the ball. But that's going to
Yeah.
come with practicing with her team and knowing more where they'll be. Or
Right.
like she tried this long pass across the court, which has worked with a lot of other teams, but just learning that, oh shit, the Sky has Camila Cardozo, a rare what is she, 6'7" foot player that's going to be able to put her paw up and hit that down. But she's a great, but that's not the stat line that comes up that people are, like I said, back in the day, if you've been a loyal listener of the Kirby Fair show, I wasn't a scorer. I was a disher.
You're the playmaker.
I was a passing savant. I was a playmaker, yeah.
You're getting the team involved.
Yeah, like I'm not about to be the one that runs to the ball, but look, I'll get it there. And you're going to be like, wow, that's so great for the person that scored, and you'll forget all about the person who passed it to them. But that's fine. I had my niche, and I knew my worth. They used to call me Lil Messi, so... But I was the same height, anyways. But yeah, so... Caitlin Clark, how are you feeling? How's Deanne feeling? Is she recognizing her ability as a teammate to set up the limited points they do get?
Yeah, I think she's been a little disappointed that, it's not the same level that it's been at Iowa. I think she's been overjoyed with Kate Martin and the Aces. More on that later. And actually, breaking pod news, I got a text from Deanne a minute ago.
Let's go.
That says,
"Let's go,
is
Deanne.
Kirby at the Mystics versus Fever game right now? It's on TV." To which I said, why would she be in DC? Did she see me?
Send a picture.
She was a little confused is all. Yeah.
Right now, send a picture of her as we're podcasting.
All right. All right.
Got it?
Yep.
But no, I'm not there, Deanne. This will be more confirmation at a later date. I wish I was. I guess they're playing right now.
Yeah, they are.
So what they played, I would bet, Sam, that they're heck of a lot better because they've had a full week of practice. If they haven't played since Sunday, and this is I think this is the first time the Liberty have had this much. They really front loaded their schedule. I was looking at when they played the Aces. They put their record on the bottom. And it was the Aces are 2-1, and the Liberty are 1-8. I'm like, what the hell? What have the Aces been doing?
Yeah,
just fucking hanging out with Kate Martin and buying her little outfits and teaching her how to. I don't even know. It just feels like how I guess scheduling wise for Caitlin Clark, you want to get the games up front, but man, they set them up for failure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. You want to cash in on the viewership numbers before everyone wises up to the performance.
But are they wising
but maybe
up?
They'll turn it around. It's like you said, they've had a week of practice.
Okay, but sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and they're playing the Mystics, who are one team worse than them.
Notably bad, yeah.
Winless, actually.
Yeah. No! What's the score right now?
It is the Fever are up 16-13.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
No,
up 3, sorry, I worded that weirdly.
The Liberty were up probably 38-13 by the end of the first quarter. It was nasty, and then the Fever brought it back. And then in the fourth quarter they went on a 25-2 run, and that's how you slam the door. But bringing it back to, okay, well, I guess I was already at the game, but the T, Sam, was that coincidentally, I was able to watch the Fever play the night after they played the Chicago Sky, which was hyped up to be a great game, obviously, because it is the first rematch between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark since high school, college in the Elite Eight when Iowa shamelessly beat them. For Caitlin Clark went all that's when you had to say, "Yep, we got beat by Caitlin Clark. That's fine." All Kim Mulkey had to say, they had a generational talent on their team. So what are you gonna do? And I was like, well, I kind of think about a little game plan there, but whatever. They could have been the Saints and tried to hard foul her and get her injured out the game, but that investigation was a little murky, and the Saints came out of it okay. So
Did they?
But yeah, so it was supposed to be a great game between the Sky and Caitlin Clark, basically, or if you're a team player, the Fever. But it didn't quite turn out that way, because generally, I think maybe we talked about this on the last episode, but there's been this whole ooh, the WNBA, the girls in the WNBA don't like Caitlin Clark. They're so jealous of her because she's getting all the shoe deals and she's bringing in all the money and getting all this attention and blah, 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 blah. And then A'ja Wilson, I think, really put it all to bed because she's the number one player in the league, and was like, yeah, no, that's stupid. And then, boy, did that quickly get contradicted by a single player. Sam, take it away, my man. You sent it to me.
I did send it to you. This is going to be bad. I don't know how to actually pronounce her name. Is it Kennedy or is it Kennedy?
Yeah, it's Kennedy.
It's Kennedy. All right. Kennedy Carter. She was going in to make a play, and there was a massive hip check that she made on Caitlin Clark, and it was this big, hard foul. And that
out of nowhere.
That has ignited the sporting world, and every narrative that there's been has just been amplified by 10 because of this, because Caitlin Clark is in danger. And so,
dirty foul. It really was. But I watched the video. Maybe I'll drop it in here. Who knows about copyright laws? But if you watch Caitlin Clark and Kennedy Carter in the play leading up to it, they aren't even on the same. They don't barely cross paths.
Mabry doubled off to Carter. Her jumper is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And big time contact afterwards.
It's not like Caitlin Clark fouled her. It's not really like Caitlin Clark fouled her teammate. But I wrote down in the sheet, Caitlin Clark, I'll say her number one problem. I'll call it a problem. Which has always been kind of the thing with her, is that she's a shit talker, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I was never a shit talker. That's fine. Some people are, some people aren't. Caitlin Clark was in college, and obviously that goes really, really well when you're dropping 40 points and hitting threes from the logo and, just disrespecting teams, but it doesn't translate as well when you are ending games with 5 points and and you're the one getting $20 million shoe deals. So, that just doesn't translate very well, but it's a part of her game. So she's keeping it up, because I do genuinely think at any time Caitlin Clark she thinks she is going to drop 40. And I get that sense too, kind of, while I'm watching her play. But clearly she said something out loud, and Kennedy Clark basically, and I've heard she is a sort of a Draymond Green of the league. And she wrecked Caitlin Clark out of nowhere. And Caitlin Clark needs to put a little weight on. I'll be honest. She needs to get bigger and she needs to get smaller. Because when anyone pushes her, I genuinely don't think she's flopping. But man, she like gets
She's,
airborne
like,
every single time. It's like you blow on a piece of string and she goes down. I don't even know. It's very funny. It's kind of like watching like a little piece of paper float to the bottom, like float to the ground as she goes, and it doesn't help that she's white as a sheet of paper too. Yeah, so that was bad, and then it exploded, Sam.
It exploded.
So Angel Reese, yeah, I guess this is all intertwined. The two have been intertwined since 2023.
Yeah.
And so I can't say I was there first. I mean, I actually was there first. Like, truly, I was there first. So dibs on that one, TM. Of the Caitlin Reese rivalry and basically just racism in action. I think I said it first. But basically, yeah, it didn't help that Angel Reese wasn't even in the game. She was on the side, she was on the bench and got some air. Like, she was Air Jordan, jumping up and down, cheering on Kennedy Carter for wrecking Caitlin Clark to the ground on a hard foul for no reason. So that was a bad look. But, hype your teammate up. For a while there, until recently, Steph would be like, yeah, Dre, great job, man. Like, you do that.
Like, done with it.
Yeah, now he's super done with it. But,
oh my gosh. Yeah, I just rewatched the video and she like stands up off the bench and is clapping.
It's bad. It's really bad. So then we hear from Angel Reese. Oh no, actually we didn't, because she got fined for not going to the post game. And the Fever actually won that game. That was crazy tea, because the white girl on the court missed her free throws. Could have tied the game. Chose not to. She didn't choose not to, obviously. Love you, girl, whoever you are. We missed the shot, but you can't. What is the saying? You can't make the shots you don't take, sis. So, you had to do it anyways. I appreciate you stepping up there, even though, you had to because the foul was against you. But whatever. Could have tied the game, ended up missing just one of them. And the Skyfall, when they really...
The Skyfall.
The Skyfall. Ended up losing that game to the Indiana Fever. Angel Reese skips that press conference. She gets fined for that. And the Sky get fined for that because everyone is supposed to make themselves available to the media. And then at some point, I guess the next night, when she plays again, she is a little vocal in a way I appreciate, right? I loved what you wrote down, because that was exactly what I was not going to write down.
Which part?
Basically, it was the part that's like the clip.
Yeah, so and when we did get back in touch with Angel Reese, she said,
I like how you say when we got back in touch with him, which was like you were there.
Kirby and I were there.
Yeah.
Reese,
we'll get badges at some point. Yeah, read the highlighted part.
Okay. She said, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Yeah, so of course everyone explodes.
Yeah, I feel like too that highlighted part was taken out of context extremely.
Way out of context.
She also says
two fat paragraphs above that of what she said. I'll play the clip of her post-game interview.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. Yeah. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that, because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person.
Do. You heard it. You heard the clip, guys. It was great. Yeah, so clearly the whole part of what Sam said was only at the end. Look at that. We love a good clip because it's a one-liner, and that's what fits on...
It's going to get interactions on Twitter.
Yeah, I almost made it. I almost made that one graphic, but I'm too slow for modern media. But she's talking about, like, what? Kim Kardashian went to the LA Sparks game. They weren't playing the Fever. Like, Kim Kardashian targeted Cameron Brink to be in Skims. She's not on the Fever. She's not Caitlin Clark, And I think I apologize, Sam, for not having you on that one episode where we had to talk feminism and race and intersectionality. I figured you might be okay with that.
Hey, I agree with everything you said, so...
But like I was saying there, when Angel was getting put in this position in college, right, what I don't think people understand, she's saying, we're the villains. We're the good villains, right? Everyone wants to be LSU. Everyone wants to beat LSU. Like, what a clip. Wow. And so everyone's like, all right, like, she wants to be the bitch. Let's be the bitch. She wants to play hard-nosed ball. Like, let's do it. But it's like, the thing with that I don't think people understand is that that's the only position that is available to her by the media. She is not allowed to be the good girl because that's what Caitlin Clark is, right? And like, for some reason, just at the perfect time, there is an elite black girl and an absolute elite generational talent white girl who can shoot the three and is very exciting, playing at the same time and going head to head in the finals. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, that's perfect storytelling. That's a great storyline. But people can't handle themselves and it devolves. Yeah, we'll follow up on that right after this break because my mouth hurts so much from talking. So on the other side with Kirby and Sam. Are you tired of looking at that old exercise bike you promised you'd use? Or the birthday gift your mom gave you that was more for her than you? Check out Facebook Marketplace. They conveniently have a separate tab so you don't have to hear about Linda down the street's thoughts on the school board election. And posting your items is easy and quick. It's time to sell that thing you should have thrown out 2 years ago and meet up with a kind person in a Trader Joe's parking lot and say, do you have Venmo?
And we're back. So after the break, I think we should mention something we mentioned earlier is that another event that has come out of this whole hard foul is that the Chicago Sky, they were in D.C., and they had to stay on their bus because there was a man there trying to find Kennedy to do whatever with. He had his phone out, I guess, and luckily these teams travel with security, and it's just a very odd situation where, you're roughing up Caitlin Clark and then people are trying to find you. That's weird.
It's weird. It's creepy. Everyone who came to Caitlin Clark's defense did it in the weirdest way possible. Like, I want to say, okay, remember when, I believe it was Rudy Gobert, remember when Draymond Green literally wound up, took a 360 and punched Rudy Gobert in the face?
Yeah.
And everyone was not like, oh, Rudy Gobert, like, we gotta get him, like, blah, 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 like, protect that man, he's a gym, whatever. No, they were like, okay, Draymond, so we gotta figure this out, and Rudy, sorry about it. No one was saying Draymond Green, or at least Rudy Gobert needs to press charges. He should be in jail, but people are saying that about Kennedy Carter. And, like, there are some hits, and, like, it's just a part of the game. Like, it's not like she clocked her and made her, like, I don't know, knocked her out and gave her a severe head injury and seizure or whatever. Right. But, like, there are vicious plays in football all the time where, honestly, like in Friday Night Lights, episode 1, that guy gets a big hit and drops to the ground and is in a wheelchair the rest of his life. But that's highly suggest Friday Night Lights. It's a great, it's great until like season 4. But anyways, the after effect has been crazy. The one of the representatives of Indiana is like saying Kennedy Carter should go to jail or whatever. The number of times I sent you, this has gone too far officially, and then I had to say one more time, official,
Yeah.
when something else came out, and then I sent you something on Instagram that was like, okay, official, this has gone too far. Like Pat McAfee was in defense of Caitlin Clark, at some point called her actually like a white bitch, and that was weird, and that was the clip that everyone took, but they completely missed on the whole part where he said, what does the W stand for? And then put up 4 different pictures of white players in the WNBA. So, like, that's super weird. But there are all these people that are, like, so defensive of Caitlin Clark as the sole reason, right, that the WNBA is so popular. And Stephen A., bless his heart, got roasted on his own show by Monica McNutt. My dad actually texted me out of nowhere, you got to get in with Monica McNutt. And at the time, all of this was happening while I was on vacation. And I was like really trying to not check the news, whatever. And this was all blowing up. So I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. But Stephen A. says, quote, and if you know Stephen A., I've been trying to work on impressions. He goes, who talks about women's sports more than Force Take? Was that good?
I think you were almost doing like a Rick Pitino, kind of.
Okay. Who talks about women's sports more than First Take? Honestly, that was close.
You're getting closer.
Yeah, who talks about women's sports more than First Take? Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with that one. To which McNutt replies, Stephen A., respectfully, when your platform could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to. And Stephen A., of course, got incredibly upset online, as he does. But I think what she was pointing out was that the WNBA was great before Caitlin Clark, and 2 things can be true at once, such that the WNBA is great now, and it was before, but we obviously need to critically ask, why is it that Caitlin Clark brought all the fans and not Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Asia Wilson? You know, like, I think we need to truly ask our, like, selves. And no one really wants to ask that, so, like, you know, that's not a popular opinion to bring up, and no one's going to watch your show. So
It's hard to have nuanced takes on Twitter and on talk shows and stuff. I agree absolutely with what you just said, that like 2 things can be true at once. I linked somewhere, I looked it up, I was interested in like the WNBA viewership records, and I saw just last year, 2023, they set a record-breaking viewership. So like the viewership's been on the rise, and you know, Caitlin Clark and the class, I feel like they're just adding to that, and so
yeah,
it's good for
Caitlin
women's
Clark.
sports. Yeah, people are getting interested, they're watching. Like the NBA finals are happening, but I'm still seeing WNBA stuff online, and that's great to see.
People are watching games that aren't just the Fever's games.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you'd have a point maybe if everything else wasn't, like, experiencing nearly as much success. But in a sense, yeah, like, I think, sure, like, the 2 things can be true at once. Like, Caitlin Clark brought the eyes, but people are staying because they're recognizing how sick the WNBA is.
Right.
Right? And also, Angel Reese and Cameron Brink and Camila Cardozo and the rookie class, in addition to everyone that's already here, are bringing new eyes too. And it's like, you can't count eyeballs based off of Caitlin Clark. Sure, you can see all of the people in the stands with her jerseys on and stuff, which is great. That's great. I love that for them. You know, but it's just stupid and unfortunate to see everyone just get so defensive in a very obvious yet oblivious way. And it's just sports, you know, like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that serious, y'all. Like, we're gonna live on, and the WNBA has been going since 1996, all without y'all. So, you know, it'll be fine. Thank you, Caitlin Clark. It's great to watch you. But I want to kind of move now more onto, unfortunately, we still have to talk about Caitlin Clark, just a little bit, because I kind of want to break down why Caitlin Clark isn't seen as much success as she is expected to. Because, right, I think that's a part of the problem. That, you know, sure, Kennedy Carter probably wouldn't have hit her like that if Caitlin Clark was deserving of all the flowers she was getting. Okay, think about it. First and last time the first overall pick was the league MVP was in her rookie season was Candace Parker. And the way that you play, the way that those positions play, Caitlin Clark is in such a unique position as a point guard. It is so much harder to excel in a very obvious way, point wise, and dominate because she is like, you're smaller. Her job a lot of the time is assist, which is why you're still seeing her as the rookie of the month because she's playing great, right? But yeah. Caitlin and Angel play completely different positions. Angel is a center, plays under the rim, one of the taller people on the court was really until Camila Cardozo came back from her injury. But it's like generally just so much harder to excel as a guard than these bigger players or like a forward or something. So I pulled this stat. In the past 20 years, only 4 guards have won the MVP. And one was Cheryl Swoops, literally the GOAT of women's basketball. Diana Taurasi, also up there into the discussion. And Ella Del Don, who won it twice. So basically only 3 guards in the past 20 years have won the MVP. So she's already at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And people need to recognize that she needs some time. The Fever needs some time. We didn't start hearing about Caitlin Clark until her junior year. If I do the math right, she had 2 years before that where she was getting used to playing big girl ball. Am I thinking about that right, Sam? Or
I think so.
Right? Like, I don't think I started getting like A pluses until I was a junior. You know, I had to figure out college a little bit. You know, yeah. I was a B plus student. You know, you had to figure it out. And you really, that's the key. You had to figure out how to be better than everyone else. That's the trick. Because we're all being graded on a curve. But my favorite story of the WNBA, of the W, thus far, Sam, I think we've enjoyed this together quite equally. The real winner of the rookie class is obviously Kate Martin.
Obviously.
One of Deanne's favorites. Kate Martin just turned 24 on the June 5th. We're basically sisters. And no one expected anything from Kate Martin, and she is getting everything. She's oh my god. What is she like? She probably gets like 20 minutes or like 15, which is insane. She makes an impact every single game. I think what her teammates really seem to love is her effort on the court. Like, gets all the loose ball. I think she's definitely not 6 foot, but she's getting crazy rebounds. And you can see it because she'll like get knocked down after she saves the ball and her teammates rush up to her and like Asia Wilson's chest is like at her face, but they're trying to give her like the biggest chest bump ever and like lifting her off the ground because they're like, you're the fucking best, Kate Martin. Like, you're a dog. And the only thing we see on the internet right now, we see Caitlin Clark not living up to her expectations. We see Angel Reese living up to her expectations and more, but also being a diva and a jerk and, general just between them, toxic drama. And Kate Martin smiling. and
just
getting
having a
jokes
good
played
time.
on her.
Happy to be there.
She is just happy-go-lucky, like the little dog that the team adopted, and is playing super well, and everyone loves her.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not, too, with the story of her getting drafted? She was just there to see Caitlin get drafted. She wasn't even, in attendance as a prospect. She's like, maybe I'll hear my name, and then she did.
And yeah, the chances of being, I think she got drafted 18th, the chances of them making the team, I think, did Diaja Fair get drafted before or after her?
Before, right?
Before. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 spots before, and she got cut from the Aces. So, could you imagine? Daisha's you get on the team with Kate Martin, and you can see everyone just swarming towards Kate Martin. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't win this battle. I'm out of here. They don't like me. I'm not going to be the top rook here. But yeah, Kate Martin, she's excelling.
She's thriving.
And looks super happy, and happy birthday to her. She's probably the only one that Iowa has to root for right now until Caitlin can pull it out. But I think it'll be soon for Caitlin. And I think Kate Martin beat Caitlin Clark for the first time in her life when the Aces played her. I think she drilled a 3 in her face too. It was great. It was really great. But we'll since we're about done talking about women here, let's take a break and we'll come back on the other side with a couple thoughts about men.
Are you like me and live in a bogus area of the United States that doesn't have central AC? If so, first, I'm sorry. But boy, do I have the solution for you. The Medea U-shaped window AC will save your sanity, your relationships, and your wallet. The Medea is ultra quiet and ultra cooling with that cool breeze flowing up to 20 feet. And if you're weird, you can also connect it to Wi-Fi and control using your phone. Wowza! The U-shaped design allows you to completely close and open your window without risking the lives of passerbys below your overpriced New York apartment. Medea. It's heavy, but worth it.
We'll call this Boys by Sam.
Boys. Say Boys by Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the resident boy, there's been some boy news. Some of the biggest news is that Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Vikings, agreed to a 4-year, $140 million contract extension with $110 million guaranteed and $88 million due at signing, and that is the richest non-quarterback contract in the NFL, with about an average of $35 million per year. So,
also called Big Boy Business.
Big Boy Business. Back up the Binks truck for
Justin Jefferson Bills. On the LSU national championship team with Joe Burrow. Someone said to me yesterday, I think it was must have been my dad, had the audacity to say that clearly Joe Burrow had some help and was insinuating that Joe Burrow was not as good as he is set out to be, but that's fine. We'll see Joe Burrow dance on everyone this coming season, but definitely Justin Jefferson deserves the money. I think this deal's been in works for 10 months with the Vikings. They've really been playing with him. There's rumors that they were going to trade him. But the wide receiver market keeps getting higher and higher. I think the Dallas Cowboys still haven't signed CeeDee Lamb, and they're really shooting themselves in the foot because obviously CeeDee is going to want a higher contract than Justin Jefferson. So by waiting, it's like waiting with stocks. It keeps going up. It's not going to drop.
Yeah.
Better buy it now.
Dip. Yeah.
Other than that, we have the NBA Finals.
Yep, they've started. We had Game 1. It's the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavs. Game 1 was a complete domination by the Celtics. The game was pretty much over in the first quarter when Kristaps Porzingis had 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the first quarter.
I stopped watching. I texted you and I said, he's fucking for real, and got out of there.
Yeah, I was telling Kirby that I was watching with my friend at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was storming here, and so the signal went out because of the storm. And when the signal went out, it was the first quarter; it was pretty even. The signal came back on, and the Celtics were up by double digits, and it kind of stayed that way. So we're like, "You want to leave at halftime?" We're like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah, they cut it to 8, then it was 10, then it was back to 16, and then it never.
It was.
My dad texted at halftime. They got it down to 21, and I was like, "Yeah." But Porzingis was out. All of the Pacers. Who did they play before the Pacers? The Cavs.
Yeah.
Maybe it was out for the Cavs too. He's been out for a very long time. And I think obviously the Dallas Mavericks were not ready for him. He made a huge impact on the game. Hopefully they'll have a game plan for game 2 to take care of him a little bit more. But the Celtics definitely had a cheat code with Porzingis last night and not having much recent tape on him. But in general, the Celtics rock. There's no the media, mass media that doesn't want to say that the Celtics are a good basketball team. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to upset people over the age of 40. But they really need to stop hating on the Celtics. I guess they're just the easiest team to hate. So it's like hating on the Patriots at this point. So that's fine. But we'll see if my boy Doncic can Doncic. I'm not going to find it today. Can bring it back and lead the Mavs to the first time since 2011?
I think so. Yeah.
And take over the title as the best team in Dallas. And what's his name? Jerry can suck
Jerry
it.
Jones, yeah.
Maybe you can make some moves in the freaking offseason, Jerry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And speaking of making moves, the last bit of boy news is that the Lakers are big boy business. They're reportedly in talks with UConn men's basketball head coach Dan Hurley, who notably just went back-to-back winning the national championship, has been talking about going for the three-peat, has put a pretty good squad together, but the Lakers are calling, and they're ready to pay. So it's going to be an interesting weekend to see what happens there.
I thought you were going to say notably wore the same pair of underwear all of March Madness.
There's that, too, yeah. Notably...
That's more notable.
Yeah.
That's weird. And it worked.
It worked, apparently, so... I've been loving seeing the memes where it's they
have dragons on them.
Picturing Danny Hurley coaching the Lakers. If they're LeBron and AD are just trying to coast, and he's there, making them run up the stands when you see practices of UConn. But yeah, this news was kind of a shock too, because the day before it was reported that the Lakers were going to hire JJ Redick instead. So.
Past week it's been reported that JJ Redick was going to be the next coach, even though he has zero experience.
It's an interesting time. It's good for content. I'm loving it. So,
but talk about the power of a podcast. That JJ Redick has a podcast with LeBron James, and therefore people are speculating so hard that JJ Redick is going to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers because LeBron has been interviewing him for multiple episodes. But JJ Duke dude.
Yeah.
I know he played in New Orleans for a little bit for the Pelicans. So thanks for that, JJ. You didn't help us do anything there. Maybe you'll be a better coach. And if this isn't your gig, I think probably the Lakers are a little too big for a first job. Out of college kind of vibe.
He can always fall back on podcasting if the coaching doesn't work out.
He also does ESPN, but I think a smaller market. I mean, did the Hornets hire anyone yet? He was just in North Carolina.
Apparently they were interviewing JJ.
Yeah.
Didn't hire him.
He knows Bojangles, so that could be a good fit. Or, man, why don't you just go, become an assistant coach? You don't gotta go for gold all at once, but again, like I said, You miss all the shots you don't take, Sam. And I think we'll wrap it up
truth.
there. That's my
Sounds
saying
good.
of the week. Thank you, Sam, for joining us once again. You can follow us at Auld_Sam, at the Kirby Ferris Show, at Kirby Ferris. We're on Instagram. We're on the Spotify podcast app, the Apple podcast app. You can look us up on the internet. And what's the biggest announcement?
I don't know. I'm not picking up. I'm blanking.
YouTube. I'm making a Y.
Oh, okay. The W threw me off. Yes, there's a video version now.
We're on YouTube. It's great. We're working on it. I don't know about the colors just yet, but Caroline was very congratulatory she hyped them up, so we went with it. And if Caroline likes it, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good way to live.
Happy Caroline, happy life. Thank you for listening to the Kirby Ferris Show. Thank you, Sam, again. And please listen, share, follow, subscribe, right? Goodbye. Yeah. Stand on business, big boy business.
For the boys.